Hello and welcome to another episode of Official Strongman News. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Bland, and this week we're going to be going over everything that's happened in the last 7 days of Strongman. And normally I'm not true to my word, we usually talk about what's going on in the future. This week, however, it's pretty much just what's been going on over the last 7 days. Obviously we had Strongman's Champions League last weekend, I think it was, and the same with Britain's Strongest Man. So a lot of the top sort of guys at the moment have been taking a little bit of time to recover, a little bit of time off, a little bit of chill, and so obviously there's not many international competitions going on this weekend, or last weekend, sorry. So it's been a little bit of quiet, a little bit of downtime, but that's not a bad thing. Actually, it's given some of these guys a little bit of a chance to rest, and oddly, if you're Krzysztof Radzikowski, to throw up some ridiculously heavy weights. He first one I saw was a 380 squat for 2, looking so comfortable and so easy. I think there was a little pause at the bottom on each one, and that was just wearing a belt and some knee sleeves, just comfortable. I think they were neoprenes as well. It was about like somewhere between 5 and 7 mil. Like, just such a strong man. It was ridiculous. The next thing he put up, which was equally crazy, was a 217 kilo log, and again, looks like he's definitely got more in him. He'll be competing at Europe's Strongest Man later this year, and definitely one to watch at that. He had a little bit of a disappointing performance, I think. Well, he came third, I believe, last weekend or the weekend before at Strongman's Champions League, but I know he's got a lot more in him, and I don't doubt he'll probably win it again next year, and hopefully can win some of the Giants Live titles too. Especially coming into that Europe's Strongest Man, there's going to be some stiff competition, but he's looking very strong. Talking of other people that have been throwing around some silly weights this week, we had Lawrence Charlet, obviously, who did do fantastically well at Britain's Strongest Man at the weekend, or the weekend before, but he threw up a video of him doing a 370 kilo squat for 2. That was in knee wraps and a belt, but no suit as far as I remember, which was incredible. I mean, his PB in competition is 380, which he did at the British Championships, where I believe that's a British record. But to do that again, and to do slightly less, but for a double, Lawrence is looking very strong at the moment, and personally, I'm very excited to see what he does when he gets back into things like World's Strongest Man. It's going to be incredible to see. Actually, you know what? We'll go on to one of the other guys that's been doing a lot lately, and that's Pete Rubbish, someone that outside of those that spend a lot of time on YouTube rather than the sort of strongman world will know that name for sure. Those of you that are more sort of strongmen, you possibly won't have done. He's an eclectic mix of things, mainly known as a competitive eater. The guy's done some outrageous feats of eating. I think my best one is, 3 kilos of cottage cheese or something, which I don't know why that appeals to me so much, but I just remember being absolutely awestruck by it. And I think he does a tub of protein powder as well, like literally dry protein powder. Guy's crazy with that stuff. But he is also a very talented and strong lifter. And he just pulled 400 kilos. The last guy, well, the most recent guy, I believe, to pull 400 kilos. He only weighs 110. And yeah, absolutely smashed out of the park. It's phenomenal. So I'll try and get a link up to that. It's definitely on his, it's on his Instagram page, guys. Go have a look, find him on there, and he's definitely worth a follow. He does some incredible things. So that's Pete Rubbish. Talking of the sort of lighter weight guys, we've got Jorgen Skork Auckland. He threw up a 320 raw deadlift. He was struggling with his suit and managed to pull that, but he'd obviously been he'd been struggling with his suit, so he just decided to go without. I think a very good shout, especially pulling something like that. He'd been competing at the Strongman's Champions League 2 weekends back, and I think he's just starting to get back into it again, but 320 from him is a big lift. I know he's struggled before with his deadlift, and I'm very much looking forward to see how he does when it comes to Europe's Strongest Man under 105. He's very talented. Still in the field of the weight category athletes, we have Kjetil Veens, and I'm sorry, but I'm sure I've butchered your name, but someone that I absolutely love. First met him at, well, the only time I've met him actually, at Europe's Strongest Man under 90s. This guy is phenomenally strong, and he put up a 190 kilo stone weighing less than 90 kilos, which is just phenomenal. He's hoping to hit 200 this weekend, and if he does, we'll definitely have a video of that up, because God damn it, that's crazy. I mean, put that into context. The final stone at Europe's Strongest Man, Britain's Strongest Man, sorry, was only 180 kilos. Obviously, they'd done that after a full day of competing and as the sort of 5th stone in the event, but still, that's a huge weight to be thrown about. And yeah, mate, a little round of applause for that. That's, you know what, I'm claiming that as lift of the week. That was crazy. We had as well, talking more on, there's one. So, Hathor Bjornsson, who's been playing around with some stuff, as always, threw up, there's a video on the Giants Pro page, and on his page in fact, of him doing 83 kilos on incline chest press for 10. Obviously he's in preparation for the Arnold's, so incline chest press can be a really good one, with dumbbells can be a really good one for building that sort of accessory work afterwards. But the best thing is, it's where he picks them both up, puts them on his knee, bounces them onto his chest, then does the same thing, puts it down. It's just controlled. He knows what he's doing. It looks comfortable, like part of a routine. It was not a freak occurrence. And something that is exciting with him, I know quite a few people sort of get frustrated with him being like, he's more of an actor, Game of Thrones, blah, 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 especially when it does get mentioned a lot on things like World's Strongest Man commentary. But to people outside, it's a really good way, outside the sort of strongman world, it's a really good way for them to sort of be introduced to our fantastic sport. And the more things he can do, personally, I say go for it, the better. And he's just landed a role in The Kickboxer: Retaliation, and I actually fucking love that film Kickboxer as a kid, so I can't wait to see that. I'll definitely be going to the cinema for it. Next up, pretty much rounding off the week, on official strongman news, we had Ryan England threw up a 180 kilo log. He's been training down with Rob Frampton, and God damn it, did it look comfortable. I think you can hear Rob in the background just going, "It's piss," or whatever he says. It's just so easy. Ryan's a really strong guy, really nice guy as well actually, and someone that I went and met down in Bristol. Shot the latest episode of not official strongman news, that's what we're doing now. This is my gym, and so that's up on the YouTube page now. I'll put a link in the little bio for you. If not, it's just a video before. Definitely give it a watch. He's got a really strong training crew down there, and Bristol's strongest gym, it's possibly one of my most aesthetically pleasing gyms I've ever been in. It's got it's like an old industrial unit, but they've hung up all of the broken equipment, just sort of hangs from the ceiling. It's like a big generator just hanging from one of the roofs. It looks incredible, and the atmosphere down there was great. They only invite the guys that they want, and it's just sort of went like that. But what was it? One of the guys came in hungover, and he was telling me how he'd pulled. Well, he was training, he hit like a 130 log, first time he'd ever done it, or something silly like that. And was telling me about when he'd pulled 330 kilos at his was it his second time deadlifting or something stupid. And definitely one to watch for the future. I can't remember his name now, but I've got some footage of him and I'll put it up on the next week's episode, because it's crazy strong. And we'll round it off. Another lift that went up this week was actually Rachel Bradish broke into the top 2 of the women's middleweight category with 170 kilo deadlift. She got that at the Winter Strength Games that I put on in York a little bit ago. Only just got around to uploading a lift for her, that's my bad. But yeah, she's taken second, 170 kilos in a Christmas jumper. Give it a watch, very impressive. And Dan Bowker pulled 320, and I think that take him into the top 20. Pulled a 320 anyway in the super heavyweight division. So keep up the good work, guys, and that's all we have for this week. I'll see you next week.